Did you know it is Healthcare Volunteer Month? And here from Henry Mayo Newhall Memorial Hospital to talk about some opportunities there at the hospital here in town is April Garcia. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, let's jump into this because we do, like, if you ever have gone to Henry Mayo Newhall Memorial Hospital there on beautiful McBean Parkway in Valencia for any reason, whether you're visiting someone, whether you're just going for some outpatient services or something a little more serious, you usually see someone in different spaces, and they are actually volunteering their time. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, our volunteers, this past year, they have volunteered over 50,000 hours of service. We had just had our annual volunteer recognition and celebrating that. I believe our hospital would not be the hospital that it is today if it weren't for our volunteers who care incredibly about our community.
Well, that's great, and there are various places to volunteer. You don't necessarily have to be there where all the action is, and especially
Correct.
In some cases, if you want to just, I'm going to rattle off a few that are actually possibilities to consider as far as volunteer positions: gift shop representative, guest ambassador to an information desk and waiting rooms, patient support and nursing units, if that's not quite your thing. Like I say, there are other things you could do: emergency department, marketing and public relations, pet visitation. Of course, we could talk a little bit about that because there are some certifications, and also special events. But so there is a variety of things that a variety of different types of volunteers can offer to help, right?
There's a variety of areas that they can volunteer in. We also, I'd like to bring attention to the ages of our volunteers. We have our volunteers that start at the age of 15, and our oldest volunteers are in their 90s.
Wow.
So we have been trying really hard to bridge that gap, and I'd like to mention at our recognition that we have had, it's the first time that we've actually had all volunteers together of all ages.
Wow.
And it was an incredible event. They absolutely loved it. And like you had mentioned, we have volunteers throughout the hospital, marketing. They actually drive the shuttle and drive patients around, med-surg floors, emergency rooms, and all our volunteers are a part of those departments. We don't segregate age differences with that. If our volunteers can volunteer at that hour, we place them there. Our teens have been an extraordinary and a great asset to the program. A lot of our teens have gone into college, went through medical programs, and we've actually had Summer Maria, who's the director of volunteer services, has had the privilege of seeing a lot of those teens come back into the community and actually working at Henry Mayo Hospital.
So it's a really good opportunity. Like we have young Matthew here who wants to get into radio. He's actually volunteering his time to kind of learn things. And for teens who want to get into the medical field or think they want to get into the medical field to learn what it's about and kind of get into and see what's going on. Because as a volunteer, even if you're not in the emergency room, you still see what goes on in the daily workings ins and outs, and it really helps them out.
And a lot of teens have actually decided, it has really helped their decision to state, I really want to do this, or it actually helped them say, I don't think I want to do this. And then we have our senior volunteers who have actually worked and been directors in hospitals throughout LA County, and they live in the community, and they're retired, and so they've come back in and just volunteered in the community to give back in their local hospital. So it's been great.
What's the first step if I want to volunteer for Henry Mayo Newhall Memorial Hospital and offer my time? What's the first step I would do?
They would actually have to go on the Henry Mayo website, and they can go to our community and then click on volunteers, and they could read about the program, and then they can actually access the application there on the website. So we've made it we streamlined it much more easier and efficient for them, so we can bring in and continue to have a robust program with our volunteers.
Outstanding. You don't happen to have the website address by any chance, do you?
It's actually www.henrymayo.org. henrymayo.com.
How easy is that?
Can I give a shout out? I just want to give a shout out to our fabulous volunteers. I like to mention that this year our auxiliary has donated $115,000 to our foundation.
Outstanding.
And that is the most they have donated in their time of being in auxiliary here at the hospital. And it could not have been done without all the volunteers volunteering. Yes.
So great. So henrymayo.com, and just look for volunteer services and start the process there. And there's plenty of different services that fit your skill set or your comfort level. April, thank you so much for coming out and talking about this, and good luck and continued success. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.